Today we're going to talk about equations that have special case situations that may arise. To get started with this idea, I'd like for you to try these problems on the screen. Each of the equations below have been left with blanks. Fill in the blanks with a number that will make the equation true. If you see an equation where there is more than one blank, the number that you pick must be in both of the blanks in that problem. Go ahead and hit pause, give it a try, and hit play when you are ready. All right, let's start with letter A. In looking at letter A, there's only one number that you can put in the blank that would make the equation true, and that is a -5. 2 times -5 equals -10. There's nothing else that would make that true, so -5 is the only solution to that equation. If you look at letter B, every one of you listening to this video could have a different answer because there's an infinite number of numbers that could work. 5 times any number would equal 5 times any number. So for instance, you could put in 2 here and here. 5 times 2 equals 5 times 2. Or I could erase that. And you could put in 3. 5 times 3 equals 5 times 3. Any number, positive, negative, decimal fraction, any number would work. So we say that the solution to that equation is either all real numbers or there are infinitely many solutions. Looking at letter C, I can't put anything that's the same in this blank or this blank that would make it true. Because if I add 3 to something and 5 to that same thing, I'm going to get 2 different answers. So for this equation, if these blanks have to be the same number, there is actually no solution. Another one that would have been no solution is letter E down here. 8 times something is never going to equal 4 times that same thing. So the answer would be no solution to that. Letter D is similar to letter B, where these two problems, no matter what you put in, when you add 12 to the same number, it's going to equal 12 to that plus that number. So like 12 plus 3 equals 12 plus 3. 12 plus 4 equals 12 plus 4. So B and D are similar. C and E are similar. And then A and F are going to be similar in that for letter F, there is only one number that would work, and that is the number 10. So if these were equations and we had x's in these blanks, you have to think about the answers that we just said. Some of the answers just had one solution to the equation. Sometimes there is no solution to the equation, and sometimes there could be an infinitely many number of solutions. So that's what we're going to focus on today, and we're going to see what it will look like as we're actually solving the equations. To summarize what we just concluded, there are some equations that could have one solution. In this type of equation, only one number works to make the equation true. An example of that could be something like this: 3x plus 12 equals 21. When we're solving equations like that, we get one number for our answer. So that means we have exactly one solution. If I would have an equation like this, 5x plus 1 equals 5x plus 3, there will never be anything that I could put in place of the variable x to make that equation true. So we say then that is no solution. There is not a number that would make that equation true. Finally, there are equations where we could have all real numbers or infinitely many solutions. An example of that would be if you would basically see the same identical thing on the left and the right side of the equation. Maybe not at first, maybe after you simplify it. Here would be an example. All I've done is just switched the variable and the constant around. So let's work some examples of these equations here and look at our answers and see what kind of solutions we end up with. So in looking at this first equation, you may be able to kind of eyeball it and determine if there's one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. If you're not sure, let's use our steps for solving equations and see what happens. So the first thing we want to do is we want to move our variables to one side. I'm going to move my variables to the left. So I'm going to eliminate this -5x, so I'm going to add 5x to both sides. Now watch what happens. My variables completely cancel out on the right side and on the left side. What do I have left? I have 13 equals 13. Does 13 equal 13? Yes, it does. It's always going to equal itself. When you get an answer that looks like that, that means their answer is all real numbers. In the original equation up at the top here, any number that you put in place of the variable x would work. Basically, the left side and the right side are identical. In problem number 2, we have to do a little bit of work. We need to do some simplifying. 7 times 2x is 14x. 7 times the negative 1 is negative 7. For the sake of time, I'm going to combine some like terms here. I'm going to bring my 14x down, and 1 plus negative 8 is negative 7. Now I'm going to move my variables to one side. So I'm going to subtract 14x from each side. And they cancel out completely on each side. So again, I get a true statement. Negative 7 equals 7. That's true. And so that indicates that my answer is all real numbers. Maybe it wasn't as obvious from the beginning of the problem because there was some distributing and combining like terms to do. But once you see the same identical thing on the left and the right-hand side, you know your answer is going to be all real numbers. Let's look at example number 3. I'm going to simplify this by distributing. That's always my first step when I see parentheses. My next step is going to be combining like terms if I see any, and I do on that left side. So I have 2x plus 1 equals 4x minus 7. I'm not seeing the same thing on each side, so let's keep going. I'm going to move my variables to the left, so I'm going to eliminate the 4x here on the right side, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. So I've just now eliminated them on the right side. This gives me negative 2x plus 1 equals negative 7. I want to get this negative 2x alone, so I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and I get negative 2x equals negative 8. My last step is to divide by negative 2, and my answer then is positive 4. I got an actual answer. I have one solution. My one solution is 4. Let's go ahead and take a look at problem number 4. What should I do first? If you said distribute, then you are correct. When you see parentheses, you have to distribute. 1/4 times 8x is 2x, plus 1/4 times a positive 4 is 1, and then I'm going to recopy this right side. Now I want to move all of my variables to the left side of the equation, so I'm going to eliminate this 2x here on the right side, so I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Now if you notice what happens, I have 1 equals negative 4. Well, when does 1 equal negative 4? It never does. That's not true. If you end up with a statement that is not true, then what do you think your answer is? If you said no solution, then you were correct. Because if there's an untrue statement when you finish your equation, there's nothing that will work. And if you notice, if you look at the line of your equation right here, you had a 2x plus 1 equal to 2x minus 4. You know that that will never happen when they're not identical like that. So if the left side and the right side are not identical, and they both have the same thing, the 2x on each side, but one has adding 1 and one has subtracting 4, that should be a little bit of an indication to you that the answer is going to be no solution. Let's look at one more problem. Let's look at number 6. Problem number 6, what's the first thing we should do? If you said combine some like terms, then you're correct. We can combine the constants here on the left side. So I have 4x plus 4 equals, and then on the right side, I have a 2x and a 2x, and I have 4x plus 3. Now, so you can stop right there. Look at that. You're having something, 4x, and you're adding 4 to it. When will that equal that same thing, 4x, and add 3 to it? For instance, if you had 1 plus 4, is that ever going to equal 1 plus 3? Or if you had 8 plus 4, will that ever equal 8 plus 3? This should be an indication right here when you get to this point where you have the same variable terms, identical variable terms on each side, but you have different constants paired with them. That's an indication the answer is going to be no solution. Let's see what it looks like if you continue solving. We're going to move our variables to the left, so I subtract 4x from both sides, and I get 4 equals, these are gone also, 4 equals 3. 4 never equals 3. So again, that's an untrue statement, so that indicates that my answer is there is no solution. Finally, let's look at these last two examples just to kind of summarize. Example 7 says, Anna was solving an equation and her last line of work read 8 equals 8. What does this mean? What do you think? If you said that this means that your answer is all real numbers, or you could say infinitely many solution, then you are correct. This is a true statement. When the variables completely cancel out and you get a true statement, your answer is all real numbers. Let's look at example 8. Tyler was solving an equation and his last line of work read negative 12 equals 12. What do you think that means? Well, since negative 12 does not equal positive 12, and you get an untrue statement, a statement that's not true, then you should have said that that means that there is no solution. So these special cases will arise when you're solving the equation and the variables completely cancel out of the problem. If you're left with a true statement, your answer will be all real numbers. If you're left with an untrue statement, your answer will be no solution. If you actually get an answer, then you have found the solution to that equation. So in summary, when you solve an equation, you could have one solution. This would be an example of that. You could have no solution. Here would be an example. Or you could have all real numbers or infinitely many solutions when the left and the right side are identical.